Slenderman is a character that needs no introduction. If I were to give a proper one, we'd be here forever, for at least 10 minutes or so. From his origins back in 2009 to those simple photos, to the game that took over every Let's Play channel for like 2 months, to the horrendous CreepyPasta stories in Rule 34, which I'm not going to fucking show, I don't want my search history to be worse than it already is, to the unfortunate stabbings, to this film that we'll be talking about, it's safe to say everybody knows him, but really not many watched his big screen adaptation, which even had Sony behind it, which is a big company, so it's not like some small company and like nobody knew about it. Clearly, a lot of people knew about it. But yet, against a $10 million and up to $28 million budget, which is a huge margin, but alright, it only made back around $51 million. It only made like $10 million within its opening. And those who saw it didn't, but they enjoyed it, but just not in the ways it intended. And watching that, I can see why. This movie is entertaining and goofy as fuck, just not in the ways it was intended. But I'll show you how when we get into the film, which is right now, because I'm not going to beat around the bush and waste more time. The film starts with our group of 4 friends, Ren, Hallie, Chloe, and Katie. They all talk about Twitter polls of all things and have a totally normal discussion.
It was the worst, man. I say 30. It's like the height of sophistication.
Yeah, everyone totally talks like that. Oh, there's Haley's love interest, Tom, as well, who will be in the movie a couple more times. We then get a real awkward dinner scene with Haley's family, including her sister Lizzie, who will be more important in the story later. And there's also several seconds of unbroken, awkward silence. It's really weird to watch, and if anything, it's scarier than the jump scares this movie tries, and that's not good. Ren shows up inviting Haley to her house to have a party with the other two, and talk about what else but porn. So far, we've learned nothing about these characters besides very surface-level things like what age they want to be, and yet we're nearly 6 minutes in. Oh! But Katie is a drunk father, so that really adds a lot to a character. Not. But it's here where the plot kicks in emotion. Tom and this dude, Kyle, who I guess maybe likes Chloe, but is in it for like 2 minutes, so it doesn't really matter, along with some others, are summoning Slenderman, a thing every teenager totally does in 2018 of all years. And thus these 4 decide to do it as well, by clicking a random link on their computer. You know, that sounds like a great way to get a fucking virus, dummy. So, how do you summon Slenderman, this devilish creature that lives in the woods that takes people? How do you summon such a terrifying thing? Oh, it's this totally unique thing called watching a cursed video. Oh, so it's the ring again. Again. The whole idea is just so uninteresting. Wouldn't it be far more scary if you didn't have to summon him? He just did that himself whenever, making it harder to actually avoid than some other dark web link and ritual. Why are you copying the ring? This doesn't even make sense. Feels like a needless inclusion of updated technology, when it could just been any time you're in the woods he can get you or whatever. They all go to sleep and it's 1 week later, and the class is on a field trip to a cemetery? What? What kind of field trip is that? That sounds weird and boring as hell. No school would ever do that. Haley looks at Tom, who I guess watched the video as well. We'll get back to him soon. Katie is obviously acting off, but none of them really bother to comfort her like shitty friends, and thus she disappears, and the police are called and search the area for 2 seconds, but she's never found. Haley and Lizzie talk, and while the general dialogue in this film is unbelievable, the most unbelievable thing about this scene is that Ren uses Facebook of all things. She's retroactively dated this movie super hard and aged like 30 years in 2 seconds. New record. We then get a decently tense scene downstairs where it seems like Slenderman is there, but it's obviously not. And it'd actually be surprising now in this day and age if they actually had the killer active this much this early on. It's just Katie's dad who's horror movie possessed, I guess, and freaks out and lashes at Haley. Okay, so the timeline of people being possessed and going crazy is already muddled just 20 minutes in. Ideas like this with the desperate father looking for a child, if anything, should have been the plot for this film, and are good. And I'm pretty sure it was the plot of a short film, so obviously it can work, because that short film worked and people liked it. But this just feels too quick and sudden. I know scenes were cut out and neutered, and I'll get to that when it's more apparent, but even now it feels like 5 or 10 minutes were cut. Like shit, how long was that initial cut, like 2 hours? Apparently the leaked script was around 120 pages, so actually yeah, maybe it was at some point. The 3 friends along with Tom and Kyle talk, and it's revealed, no, they didn't actually watch the video, so there's that. Chloe and Haley sneak into Katie's house while Ren talks to Kate's dad, and he shows how sad he is, talking about how people don't just disappear, which again reaffirms this is what the plot's film should have been. You know, it should have been a father looking for his lost child, which is far more interesting, if not maybe still cliched. They find Katie's laptop and see some really weird videos involving Slenderman, one including a kid who gets straight up killed and just abruptly ends. Okay. Alright, what is Blair Witch 4? They see Katie, who was talking to someone named AlleyCat93, who get ready to have nothing to do in this film. She shows up like twice in like fucking like chats, and that's it. They watch another video and Ren decides secretly to talk to AlleyCat93 instead of turning this in as evidence and getting the police to find this person and bring them along as they may know more than they're letting on. But wait, that actually fucking makes sense. The 3 decide to summon Slenderman as a way of getting Katie back by giving personal things like pottery. Sure, the kidnapper of children has an interest in pottery. which makes sense. Not something like give me your best friend or sister or father or mother or anything like that. Pottery. Okay, just want to make sure we're on the same page of your movie. They get separated but come back as it's obvious something happened to Chloe. She gets FaceTimed by Slenderman. No, I'm not fucking joking. Or is it just a video call? In a decently done intense sequence, so hey, there's that. She then starts getting choked by Slenderman, realizes it's actually her, and she doesn't like that kink, and she promptly disappears from the rest of the movie bar one scene. I'm literally serious. Originally, she had a whole classroom scene of her cutting her eye with a scalpel in class that would have actually been fucking, scary and had actual adults interacting with the kids during the movie instead of just disappearing like they can't pay child support. But that, among other scenes I will discuss, was deleted because they feared it would cause backlash, which the film itself existing already likely did. Plus, where the fuck are her parents? Why do the parents either not exist in the first place or just disappear for large chunks of the film once the second act starts? It's so noticeable every time. Haley talks to Tom and they set plans, not before seeing Slenderman secrete black cum out of his back, only to be held by Jeffrey Epstein in an attempt to get some more screen time in his own fucking movie. I know some villains have short screen time, but damn, this dude doesn't even have 4 minutes of screen time. Well, I guess it could be shorter, so there's that, I guess. And despite only being in the scene for like 1 minute, this might be the longest consecutive set of seconds Tom is in this film for so far, and we're nearly halfway in. Same with Kyle and that other dude, who I think is literally named Boy with Glasses on like IMDb. Amazing. We then get another somewhat decent scare scene in the library as it turns dark and Ren gets face to face with Slenderman. And I have to say, the idea of him being able to warp reality in this way is cool, but I almost wish he could actually warp reality, not in people's minds, but like just straight up like in reality. Like he could just do that in reality, not in people's minds. Would have been maybe a bit different, I guess, or just something cool. Maybe just do it like once or twice. I don't know. A problem I have, though, is that Ren technically shouldn't be looking at Slenderman. He's supposed to take you if you actually look at him for long enough, like, based on those games. So she should be gone, but alright. Then the scene gets rather ruined when bumping into the librarian makes her snap out of this whole thing. So does hitting the shelves not do anything but another person's cart bumping into you does? Man, just kill them both. You already have a weak kill count of just 3, and it's been nearly an hour. Yes, nearly an hour. I know I've been barely talking about this film. It's just not that much really happens that's really important or I feel like talking about. Ren tries to explain this to Hallie, but it doesn't do much anyways, showing how Slenderman will truly isolate you. So, there's that. Yay. They decided to go to Chloe's house, which they already did, except for, that was for Hallie. So, yeah, instead of utilizing the town setting and showing different areas and scares and kills, hell, maybe even involving the police who seem to have done more shit done in the trailers than in the actual movie instead of this. Oh, remember when I said Chloe still had one more scene before being completely gone? Yeah, it's this. Great contribution. Not. Also, where the fuck are her parents? Damn it, movie, stop with this shit. Why does no one have a significant parental figure in this movie that lasts longer than 2 fucking minutes? It's not like they die, it's just that they disappear for large chunks of the movie. Like, who is it? Haley's parents come back soon, but they are gone for most of the movie. What the fuck is this shit? Stop it with this. Also, why must you do this at night? Your other friend has been missing for like a week or 2. Where's the town curfew and other things? Seriously, if you must set this in a generic high school in town instead of other places like a rundown one like Slenderman The Arrival or just a forest like the 8 Pages game or the Blair Witch Project, can you at least explore some of this shit? Could lead to some cool scares and kills and more characters banter and help develop the previously established ones. Oh wait, that makes sense. Sense is not allowed. So Haley goes over to Tom's place to fuck, but we know that won't happen. This is a PG-13 film. No sex allowed.
I thought I had the wrong house because there weren't any cars in the driveway.
Yeah, my dad's at this business thing, and mom's at a book club.
It's the middle of the night. What book club is going to be open?
Hey, come here.
Wow, Slenderman. Stop being such a cockblocker, you bitch.
What's up, guys? It's Quandale Dingle here. I have been arrested for multiple crimes.
At least Tom is nice and doesn't kick her out, instead giving her premium tap water and finds the video.
Is this it?
Don't. Come on. Tom, please. You can't go on that site.
It's just a video.
Have you noticed how half of Haley's friend group is gone? Maybe take her advice and don't watch the video, you dingus. Well, it clearly does, because the next day, oh, there's an adult. Finally. Oh yeah, back to what I was saying. Tom is back, but I guess since he got a beanie, he's edgy now or something. Didn't know that's how it worked. Beanies are cool, not really edgy, but alright. So what's the timeline of being infected and tormented? He seems more affected than Haley throughout this entire week. In just like a day? Heck, maybe even single-digit hours? He also even has bruises now, so yeah, Slenderman's, I guess, is sexist or something. Oh, and he disappears from this movie too. Fuck! He had a scene cut out that showed his torment with Slenderman and him jumping off the top of the school, which would have explained his fate. See what happens when you want a PG-13 rating for an R-rated movie, Sony? Shit gets noticeably cut out like Venom. And people complain. Except with Venom, they didn't complain as much, but I guess that was maybe slightly more funny. Still kind of same thing, but whatever. Plus, we're over an hour in. What about that girl in the white dress and the was along with the cops? What the hell was that, and what was the significance of that? Well, who knows? Maybe this film will show us in the last 20 or so minutes. Yeah, doesn't feel like we have that little, right? Almost like that's what happens when a film doesn't really have a plot or 3-act structure or really any structure to begin with, like a good one. Haley tries talking to Alleycat93, but whoop, she gets terminated. Okay. Nice writing. She does have this creepy hallucination with her belly being pregnant with Slenderman's tendrils poking out, which just makes sense. His whole thing is to steal children, so that works as a cool image, I guess. Lizzie has a bad writing attack, and her parents finally show up. I feel like they've been gone most of this movie because they have. And she gets sent to the hospital. There's some creepy in-sync and hallucinatory stuff in the hospital, so that's cool. I wish more of this film was centered around this stuff in the town, like the emergency first responders or anything like that, instead of these random kids with disappearing parents always hanging out at night. That shit is actually cool and kind of creepy and interesting. Like, come on, you. This is like the one of the few times you actually get it right. And now you ruined it, movie. I should have known you're Sony. Despite making Spider-Man Spider-Verse, you also made the Emoji Movie and Venom as well. Haley goes on Lizzie's computer and figures out Ren got her involved and decides to go over to her house at night without telling her parents or the cops or really anyone. Damn, how shitty and non-existent is this town and its police force or any emergency first responders or anything like that. She finds out Ren has gone crazy and sees her attempting to kill herself and stops her, but whoop, there she goes. Yep, now all of her friends are dead. They're just gone. And you don't really care about any of them because they don't have much of a character arc or character traits. Haley decides it's best to just give up her life so that her sister can live. Yeah, makes sense with who this guy is. Some shit happens in the forest that's too dark to see and she becomes part of a tree. I shit you not. Okay then. But as a result, Lizzie is kept alive. We hear some monologue and the film ends with some new stuff. And that was totally confusing, choppily edited, and needlessly neutered. Also known as Slenderman 2018. What can I say that hasn't already been said by me previously or these other reviews that are more in depth? It's a slightly good idea completely butchered and cut out. While it may not have helped it that much, several characters' deaths and whole characters were cut out. That girl in the white dress, yeah, she cut her fucking tongue out. It's a whole opening that was going to be in the film, yet it's not there. It's so obviously cut and it never makes sense. It's like 2018 was a year of cut down movies. First, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom with like no blood and several scenes cut. Then this, and then Venom afterwards. And the whole teaser trailer made it seem like more of a horror film when it was more of a comedy, which I guess is also the case with this. This is more of a fucking comedy, but unintentionally so. It doesn't make sense why they cut out so much as well. Like, you know R-rated films have been very successful, right? It's not even like this film was developed like so many years back before R-rated movies were successful. This shit was being developed all the way back in like 2016, 2017, so not that far back actually to when this film came out. It wasn't even like a film that was in development hell for that long, so I don't even understand why this took so fucking long to get done as well. Like, why did you do it now? Slenderman was already kind of dead, and by the year they had started, that HBO documentary came out about all the stabbing, so yeah, I don't know why they decided to do that. The parents of these characters either don't fucking exist or disappear so much, Slenderman might as well have killed them. Maybe that happened in the original leak script. Its plot is basically just the Ring 4 or whatever, and it feels so weird. The cop shit is so brief, it never affects anything. Like, you'd think there'd be a curfew of the characters would go to them, but no. I think in the original script, maybe they did. I really wonder what that original script was. I'm gonna have to read it. Maybe somewhere out there in some other reality, a good Slenderman film got made. One that respected the audience's intelligence and didn't neuter shit for no reason. Actually had multiple scary scenes, and felt like a whole story with a structure that actually works. One that actually brought some legitimacy to the name Slenderman, or just horror films in general. And good characters, and could actually, make this a tolerable movie that actually works, and makes this character actually scary, and doesn't neuter shit. It feels like a whole movie, which a lot of movies don't feel like nowadays, and do something unique and new and different. Who knows? But hey, we got this piece of shit, so we can't all be winners. Hope you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, all that shit. I know this was a shorter video, I just didn't really have that much to talk about. There's other more in-depth reviews by like Elvis the Alien and Daz Reviews and other people like that, but I just wanted to create a short one to kind of make fun of the movie and point out a bunch of the flaws that already everyone has, and maybe some other unique stuff that people haven't pointed out. And this was also just kind of like a fun video made, like, just, because October, scary stuff, maybe do something like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time whenever I upload a new video, which should be soon. I don't want to keep having these gaps in uploading. They should hopefully only come out like a week or so after that Doctor Strange video, which, by the way, you can also watch. And you could also watch my film Virgo, or the film I worked on, Virgo, the dentist cut, which is a bit better. So there's that. Bye-bye.